Meghan Markle chose to do the unthinkable on the red carpet.
Meghan Markle has an extreme case of main character syndrome, basically a situation where somebody thinks they are the main player, the protagonist in the story of their lives and the lives of everyone around them.
Meghan Markle took full advantage of it.
There's a sickness with her. There's something off with her.
Meghan Markle walked into David Foster's gala as a guest. Minutes later, she was directing people on the red carpet, filming herself between bagpipers, laughing into a camera, pulling Harry into the performance, and hanging around the photo line while the man whose name was actually on the foundation waited for his own moment. Then David Foster stepped in. No warm greeting, barely any eye contact. No obvious attempt to make Meghan the center of the exchange. And suddenly, that giant smile had nowhere to go. So what happened here?
When I tell you that this woman loves to burn bridges because she had nothing to lose. She knows she's not coming back because David Foster is not doing these events anymore. This is the 40th year he's done this. Harry and Meghan have made a career of burning bridges.
Did Meghan really arrive at another man's major night and turn it into the Meghan show? Because the footage coming out of Canada is brutal. This was not some random restaurant opening where everybody was fighting for a selfie. It was a David Foster Foundation gala in Victoria, Canada, tied to a foundation he has spent decades building.
This is his last event. This is his last fundraising event. And he wanted to go out with a bang. Harry and Meghan were supposed to have moved and give them space so David Foster and his wife could take center stage and be pictured, filmed together alone. Did Meghan Markle do it? Let's find out. Of course they didn't. And you can see that David Foster is livid.
Foster was there with his wife, Catherine McPhee. Harry and Meghan were invited guests. That should have made the order of the night extremely simple. Arrive, support the cause, take the photographs, congratulate the hosts, and move along. But simple has never produced enough content, has it?
Attempting to direct people because, again, this is a film production of her life, guys. So she needs to direct people as to where to stand because apparently a producer who is in his 70s and has been in the entertainment industry for years and years, and her friend who has also been in the entertainment industry for years and years, Catherine McPhee and Meghan Markle went to school together. He apparently doesn't know how to stand on the red carpet at his own event. He needs Meghan Markle to direct him because she's the ultimate director of life.
And there was another reason Foster's own red carpet moment mattered. This event marked roughly 4 decades of his foundation's gala fundraising, and it was being presented as the end of this particular long-running gala format. That means the photographs were not just another annual step and repeat. They were part of a milestone night.
And if she can't have her moment alone on the red carpet, because yes, she asked to be alone on the red carpet, she's gonna screw everybody else's.
Foster had every reason to want clean pictures with McPhee, the foundation, the guests, and the people actually being celebrated. If there was ever a night when the host should not have to compete for his own frame, this was it. Meghan also arrived looking completely camera-ready.
They said that David Foster was talking to Harry about something incredibly serious about some children and some parents who had lost children. And you can see Harry and David Foster, they look serious. They don't look like they're laughing or smiling about anything. Meghan Markle has this idiotic permanent grin, which is creepy. And of course, she saw the camera. And what did she do? She reached out. Why is this woman smiling like an idiot? Does she not understand that that is just not done? She has zero sympathy for anybody.
The dress was by a Canadian designer she had not previously worn publicly, a choice that fit the location almost too neatly.
Now, Meghan Markle is attempting to look royal here because she chose a Canadian designer she has not worn before. So again, the rehabilitation of Harry and Meghan and trying to get back into the royal fold is well underway.
Before we continue, one quick thing. One thing I've realized is that most families don't have their important information organized in one place. That's exactly why I recommend the Family Vault, a simple printable and fillable organizer where you can keep everything from important documents and insurance to medical information, passwords. You'll find the link in the description, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Now let's get back to today's story.
The hair, the jewelry, the styling, the arrival footage, every piece was ready to be clipped, posted, and discussed. Again, there is nothing wrong with dressing for an event. That is what red carpets are for. But when the outfit, the entrance, the musicians, the dancing, and the photo line all become separate pieces of content, the appearance starts looking less like attendance and more like production. And that distinction matters.
And unfortunately, performances like this are becoming more and more grating on the public day after day. And Meghan Markle would be so much better served to not wear a toga that looks like she has a dirty diaper and instead actually embrace her vain, vapid, and shallowness and not try to wrap it in altruism.
A guest supports the night. A producer looks for moments. Meghan kept finding moments. She found one walking through the musicians. She found one narrating Harry's love of bagpipes.
This whole bit here, it's just wild.
My
husband loves bagpipes. And you gotta wonder, who is this poor soul forced to carry this camera and film her giggling at herself, her horrible hairstyle here, and her dirty diaper toga? Who is in charge of filming this?
She found one dancing.
Meghan Markle at the event dancing with, and Harry's just sitting there going, "Can you please stop this now? Can you please stop it?" Like, you can feel, again, it's that main character energy that Meghan Markle has, where she's kind of making a fool of herself, bringing attention to herself. And yes, it seems to be, maybe there's people definitely on the floor dancing. I don't know why Harry isn't dancing. Like, the whole thing comes across as just a smidge odd. But Meghan Markle, there was an event, obviously, with Tyler Perry and Kerry Washington, where Meghan Markle and Kerry Washington were vibing.
She found one on the carpet arranging the group. By the time Foster appeared, the evening had already generated a full stack of Meghan clips before the host even got his clean shot. Before the red carpet awkwardness even exploded, Meghan was already creating her own little movie. Cameras followed her as she walked through a line of bagpipers and drummers.
Meghan looks like she's acting badly.
And
And Harry's no better here, because he kind of attempts. And you can almost feel them going like, what the heck is this?
It's pipes and drums, just to be clear. Thank you.
Did somebody say so sexy? Really?
She laughed, looked around, and announced, "My husband loves bagpipes," while Harry was literally right there, right beside her. A grown man who, presumably, could tell the musicians himself if he loved the music. But why let Harry have the sentence when Meghan could narrate the scene?
If you think about the main character syndrome thing, why is Meghan referring to Harry? My husband, he's right there, honey. He is literally right next to you. Just say, he loves bagpipes. Point to him or something. Or say, Harry loves bagpipes. Or don't even say anything. Why can't you let him say he loves bagpipes if he loves bagpipes? Why are you standing there in a room full of bagpiping men, giggling like a Looney Tunes, and going, my husband likes bagpipes?
And look at how carefully the moment works. Meghan is in front. Meghan reacts. Meghan laughs. Meghan tells everyone what her husband likes. The musicians become the background. Harry becomes the supporting character. The camera gets the content. A completely normal walk into an event suddenly looks like a tiny lifestyle clip made for social media.
In particular, Meghan, of course, looks at this as, I can get something for the gram. But what Meghan didn't really consider is that she definitely very much has main character syndrome. That Meghan Markle, this is her. So just put it into Google, this is what it says. Main character syndrome is an informal pop culture term describing a mindset where an individual views themselves as the protagonists of a movie like life, treating others as supporting characters and romanticizing everyday events. It is not a clinical mental health diagnosis, but rather a social media phenomenon.
Was she attending a fundraiser or shooting another episode of Watch Meghan Experience Things? That is what makes the footage so funny. Nothing dramatic actually needed to happen. Bagpipes were playing. People were greeting each other. Guests were entering. Yet the camera was there to catch the laugh, the reaction, the line about Harry, the whole polished little interaction. It did not feel accidental. It felt packaged.
Taken to an extreme, it leads to selfish behavior, unrealistic expectations of how people should treat you, and difficulty forming deep mutual relationships. I think we'll see all this here in Meghan. And that just did remind me is that I heard that there's another Daily Mail article about Meghan Markle bullying people.
Then Harry started talking to the musicians himself, and for a few seconds, the attention drifted. He was engaged. He was facing them. He had his own conversation going. Meghan remained behind him, still inside the shot. And that tiny detail matters because this entire evening kept producing the same strange visual.
I'm sure Meghan was incensed that Harry is here taking up space. Now, Harry has a tinge of main character syndrome, but he doesn't have it in the same way that his wife does. So I'm sure him standing there, taking attention away from her and taking the camera's focus away from her, it's probably driving her absolutely batty. And she's probably seeing herself going, "Hey, come here. This is supposed to be about me. This is a video about me. How dare you talk to these guys too?"
Whenever the moment stopped being about Meghan, she was never very far from pulling the frame back toward herself. Later, another clip showed Meghan dancing while Harry remained seated. People around them were enjoying the event too, so dancing itself is obviously not some scandal. The interesting part is the contrast. Meghan is moving, performing, reacting, visibly animated. Harry is sitting there, looking far less interested in joining the show.
People were saying that she was arguing with Harry. Nobody was paying attention to them. They were on the side table. They were not in the middle of the they were not in the main table, in the center table. They were on the side. And nobody was paying attention to Meghan Markle. And we know that Meghan Markle can't live without attention. All the cameras need to be on her. And she was arguing with Harry, asking him to get up and sing, to make a scene, and you'll hear her shouting, but you can see them arguing because Harry's just ignoring her. Harry's just ignoring Meghan's like, get up. Listen to her scream.
Once again, the camera finds Meghan. Once again, the footage becomes about Meghan doing something while Harry sits beside her. But the real trouble started on the red carpet. David Foster is not a nervous newcomer who needs a duchess to explain where to stand for a photograph. He has spent decades around cameras, celebrities, stages, photographers, and press lines.
David Foster Foundation paid for the expenses, the entire expenses of Harry and Meghan while in Canada. They were flown by private plane. The hotel they stayed at was paid for by the David Foster Foundation. And let me tell you, they don't come cheap because Meghan Markle, as usual, is asking for insane demands.
Catherine McPhee has also spent years in entertainment, yet Meghan can be seen gesturing and appearing to direct positioning as the group gathers for photographs. Hands moving, people shifting. Meghan helping arrange the frame. At David Foster's event. Why? Why does she need to manage where everybody stands? Why does she need to organize the picture?
You know how fake it is and how much she thinks the entire world revolves around her.
Why can the host of the event not simply step onto his own red carpet and take his own photograph without Meghan apparently turning into an unpaid director? And this is where the night goes from mildly cringe to genuinely awkward. Harry and Meghan had already had their photo opportunity. They had been seen. Cameras had them. Their arrival was documented. Their clothes were photographed. Their presence was established. Normally, that is the point where guests move down the carpet and the hosts get their own clean shot.
As long as she sees cameras, as long as people are taking pictures of her, she's going to keep smiling through those dentures no matter what. But you can clearly see that David Foster is seething.
Foster and McPhee should not have needed to squeeze their moment around two guests who had already been photographed. But Meghan and Harry remained there. They stayed in the frame long enough that Foster and McPhee came into the same space, rather than getting an obvious separate host moment first. And watch what happens next.
He keeps just walking by without saying hello or anything. And Meghan Markle is fidgeting with that dress. It kind of reminds me when Prince William did this. You remember when Prince William was adjusting that scarf because he did not want to engage in conversation with Meghan Markle? So this is why David Foster was so angry.
Foster approaches, but there is no big Meghan greeting, no visible burst of warmth toward her, no dramatic reunion. His attention appears fixed elsewhere. Meghan adjusts herself and her dress. Harry looks stiff. The whole thing suddenly loses the glossy energy Meghan had been projecting minutes earlier.
Harry knows it, by the way. Harry knows that they screwed up. Harry knows that they were both supposed to move along after they were pictured and they were filmed and they got their little time of glory and their little spotlight. But Meghan Markle held on so long that David Foster and his wife had no choice but to come and be pictured with them. They didn't get their lone time on their red carpet at the very last fundraising event.
That is the shot people are talking about, because Meghan appears to extend herself into the interaction and Foster simply keeps moving. Maybe it was timing. Maybe he was focused on the photographers. Maybe he was trying to get into position. But whatever the explanation, the visual is savage.
Catherine McPhee was one of those Meghan's friends in high school. She was in a lower grade. She wasn't on Meghan Markle's radar until she married David Foster, who has a fortune estimated at $150 million.
Meghan is smiling and hovering in the frame while Foster does not appear remotely interested in giving her a special moment. And after all that directing, all that posing, all that my husband performance, what a way for the red carpet to end. The woman who looked completely comfortable arranging the scene suddenly looked like she could not control the scene at all. That is the backfire.
There's a sickness with her. There's something off with her, and we all talk about her like she's this normal person, this reasonable human being. This is a very unwell woman, in my opinion, who is not living in reality, who is unmoored from any common sense, anything going on in real society. She makes absolutely no sense. She's very, very unwell, in my opinion.
Because if Meghan had simply walked the carpet, smiled, taken the pictures and moved, nobody would have cared. There would be no story. But the longer she stays in the shot, the more she gestures, the more the camera follows her, the more obvious one question becomes: why does every public appearance need an extra Meghan production attached to it?
Why they're there at this particular gala, let's be honest. They're looking for things to do. They're getting kind of desperate for things to do. And they're desperate to look like they're important.
Even inside the gala, another moment added fuel. Meghan was seated beside Harry while the room's attention was elsewhere. In footage from the table, she appears to repeatedly urge him to get up. Harry stays seated. She keeps speaking toward him. He does not immediately leap into action. There is no dramatic couple performance, no instant Harry response, no big moment. For once, he looks perfectly happy staying in his chair, and Meghan, not so much.
Remember when Meghan Markle did that MasterChef thing and Chef Paul told her, you have to scream 30 minutes to warn the chefs who were cooking there? And Meghan said, oh my God, I don't like yelling. I am too much of a duchess. Well, she didn't say too much of a duchess. I'm adding that bit up, but that was implied. She's too much of a lady to shout and scream, right? So she had to walk to each chef and tell them, you have 30 minutes. You have 30 minutes. That was to, of course, maximize camera time on her face while, getting precious minutes from the chefs. Well, if you pay close attention here, you will hear her shouting and screaming.
Remember the image this couple has spent years selling. Private, protective, overwhelmed by intrusive attention, constantly concerned about security and cameras. Fine. Then explain the other side of the picture. Why are so many of Meghan's public moments built like content? Why are ordinary arrivals filmed? Why do little location clues keep appearing online? Why does a walk past musicians need a camera? Why does a gala need dancing footage? Why does a red carpet need directing? That contradiction is becoming harder to ignore.
People wonder, how do they get invited? It's that royal title. Even if it means that they're invited, to Canada at a B-list event. Allegedly, David Foster did not want to have anything to do with him, but that meeting with King Charles kind of changed things around a little bit because now they don't know whether Harry's actually going back. And Meghan, of course, is latching on to that possibility of going back.
During the Sussex family's recent travel, Meghan posted images that immediately triggered location speculation. One photograph contained enough recognizable scenery for people online to debate exactly where the family had been staying. Other posts showed identifiable places and details that encouraged people to piece the trip together. Another image from the Scottish Highlands fueled speculation about whether they had been anywhere near Balmoral. Nobody forced those clues onto Instagram. Nobody secretly hacked the account and uploaded scenic breadcrumbs. Those images were chosen and published. And once they were published, speculation followed exactly as anyone living in the public eye would expect.
Hide, hide, close the blinds. I seek photographers out there. They're coming up to the gate. Like, they love to build this narrative, like we're being hunted, we're being chased. Literally, in my opinion, though I have pretty good reason to believe this, she calls the paparazzi on herself when she goes out in Montecito.
So what is the strategy? Hide from attention while leaving clues for attention? Demand privacy while posting just enough to make everyone investigate? Insist the press is too interested while feeding it a trail of locations, images, and mysterious little hints? You cannot have it both ways forever. And no, that does not prove Meghan is secretly calling paparazzi every time she leaves the house. That claim gets thrown around constantly, but a suspicion is not proof. The bigger problem is more obvious and does not need a conspiracy theory. She repeatedly creates material that keeps the attention machine running herself.
But I think she needs the paparazzi to feel self-important in a way, and then she can kind of say, oh my God, don't take pictures of me. How dare you? You know, she's going to tip them off, and then she's going to say, I can't believe they're here. Then she's going to build another narrative that they need privacy, and we're under attack, and we're under siege.
That is why the David Foster footage hits differently. It gives people a live version of the same behavior they have been watching online. The camera is present. Meghan knows it is present. She reacts for it. She talks for it. She dances near it. She arranges people in front of it. Then, when the actual host walks into the space, she is still there.
Harry and Meghan, I think, want to be these huge people in the entertainment industry. And while, yes, they still get invitations to things, I don't think necessarily they're getting the invitations of the caliber that they would prefer. So when Harry and Meghan went here, I'm sure they were like, yes, yes, something to go and do, because the couple are desperately seeking something to do.
This is not about one bad photograph. It is about control of the frame. Even the social media cross-promotion added another ridiculous little detail. Meghan posted the Gala content, and the As Ever brand account interacted with the post. Her personal celebrity life and her commercial brand are now so intertwined that even a charity gala becomes another place where the Meghan ecosystem can circulate itself.
Kind of speaking of main character syndrome, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yep, As Ever liked Meghan Markle's own post. Meghan Markle liked her own post. Oh man, the cross-referencing with As Ever is just insane, guys. Now, it's starting to get really bad. As Ever is not doing well.
Attend event, capture footage, post footage. Brand engages. Headlines appear. Everyone talks about Meghan. The machine keeps moving. And that matters because As Ever needs attention. Meghan needs viewers to care what she wears, where she goes, what she eats, what she posts, and what she launches next. Visibility is part of the business.
They were vibing, dancing in their seats. And I just get the sense of Meghan Markle just tries to do whatever she can to bring attention to herself and act like it's just so casual.
There is nothing wrong with promotion. She chose a commercial public life. Promote away. But then stop acting shocked that people notice how aggressively every appearance is turned into content. This gala could have been easy. David Foster gets his night. The foundation gets attention. Harry and Meghan show support. Everyone smiles. Everyone goes home. Instead, the most talked about image is Meghan appearing to overstay her own red carpet moment while Foster walks past her with almost no visible engagement.
There's also a video of Meghan Markle just kind of looking at their little like plate thing and not really participating seemingly in this gala because Harry and Meghan aren't there to actually support the David Foster Foundation. They're there to support the catering brand that is Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
How do you manage that? How do you attend an event created around somebody else's foundation and somehow leave with people debating whether you hijacked the photo line? And there is another layer here. Meghan and Catherine McPhee knew each other years ago through school circles in Los Angeles. Foster and Harry have also been publicly linked as friendly acquaintances over the years. This should have been one of the easiest rooms for Meghan to navigate. Familiar faces, a supportive cause, cameras, music, a glamorous dress, no hostile palace officials, no brutal royal protocol.
Harry and Meghan, as a whole, they're just not having a big success in the entertainment industry right now. And even if it's a lower tier event, they're willing to go because they get their 5 minutes.
No impossible ceremonial rules. Just show up and be gracious. Yet even here, the footage turns awkward. That is what should worry Meghan more than any mean headline. When the room is friendly and the environment is controlled, but the clips still make viewers ask why she is making everything about herself, the problem is no longer the setting. Look at the sequence. First, Meghan makes the musicians part of her content.
So we're mine.
Every time Meghan laughs, I just can't help but think of a really bad actress attempting to laugh.
Then she speaks for Harry while he is standing beside her. Then Harry has his own interaction. Then Meghan is dancing while he sits. Then she appears to direct people on the carpet. Then she remains in the host's photo space. Then Foster enters and gives her almost nothing visually. Then more clips are posted afterward and the entire evening becomes another Meghan social media package. That is a full night of content from somebody else's fundraiser.
Again, she made it all about herself, but she doesn't care, does she? What else can we expect from Meghan Markle?
And this is exactly why the privacy argument keeps collapsing under its own weight. A genuinely private person can attend an event and not manufacture a personal mini-documentary out of it. A person who hates speculation can avoid posting recognizable breadcrumbs from private travel. A person terrified of public attention can stop feeding the audience constant teasers. But Meghan appears to want a very specific kind of privacy. Privacy from scrutiny, not privacy from attention.
Business of photoshopping Meghan Markle's and Prince Harry's images. Look at this picture right here. I mean, Harry has hair. They put hair. They fluffed it up. We know that he doesn't have that much hair.
She wants to control when the camera appears, what it captures, what story the image creates, and how the public reacts. That is very different from simply wanting to disappear. And the Foster red carpet is a perfect example of what happens when that control slips. The camera did not disappear. Meghan did not disappear. But the person controlling the emotional temperature of the shot was suddenly David Foster. He did not appear to play along with a big warm Meghan moment.
David Foster was livid. You will see that the body language is brutal. There is no eye contact whatsoever. And Harry, of course, knew that he messed up, that he should have moved along. But did he? No, because he's a coward.
Before we continue, I want to mention something really quick. Organizing your family's important information is one of those things most of us know we should do, but we keep putting it off. That's exactly why there's the Family Vault. It gives you one place to organize your important documents, insurance, medical information, passwords, and more, so everything is easy to find when it's needed. You'll find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That's all. Now let's get back to today's story.
He did not stop everything to acknowledge her. He moved through the frame, focused on his own event, and left Meghan smiling beside a situation she could not fully direct. Ouch. Imagine being Meghan in that moment. You have already been filmed entering. You have your bagpipe clip. You have your glamour shots. You have the dress. You have the dancing footage. You have Harry beside you. Then the host arrives, and instead of another flattering little interaction, the clip that spreads is the one where he appears to barely engage.
But you can see that there is no eye contact. There is nothing there. In fact, David Foster was livid. But at the end of the day, Meghan always gets her man or woman. She always manages to get herself invited somewhere, and she will make it all about her.
That is not the content plan. And Harry does not exactly rescue it. He does not pull Foster back. He does not create some giant reunion. He does not turn to Meghan and stage a charming couple moment. He simply remains there while the atmosphere stays stiff. The irony is unbelievable. Meghan spent years escaping the royal system because she supposedly did not want to be treated like a supporting player.
She doesn't like to scream, but of course she needs to scream here because nobody's paying attention to her.
She built a new life where she could control the brand, the Instagram account, the projects, the products, and the public image. But the minute she walks into another person's event, the same fight for center stage seems to follow her through the door. At some point, somebody else gets to be the main character. At David Foster's Foundation Gala, that somebody should have been David Foster. He should not need Meghan to position him. He should not need to wait for guests to finish occupying his carpet. He should not need to produce a warm interaction just because a camera is recording.
She doesn't care. She knows that because this is the last time, the last event, they're not coming back. She doesn't care if she burns that bridge because they're not hosting it anymore. She doesn't care.
The same pattern keeps appearing. Meghan wants to be seen. She wants the image. She wants the speculation. She wants the polished candid. She wants the mysterious clue. She wants the glamorous arrival. She wants the clip people replay. And when the attention moves somewhere else, somehow another Meghan moment appears. But this time, the cameras caught something she probably did not need. David Foster walking into his own spotlight, and Meghan discovering, for a few painfully awkward seconds, that not every room is hers to direct. And that may be the most revealing clip of the entire night.